Oh, good evening, folks. Hope you're well. It's Sunday, the 24th of February. Amazing weather. I'm not quite sure what's up, really. Even the birds are walking around holding hands at the moment. They're pairing up. It's rather sweet to watch. And it's rather strange, isn't it? I'll just close this off, excuse me. Well, okay, back in action. What to talk about? Well, I hope that you appreciate the videos I do, and it would be a great help to show your appreciation by writing comments underneath the videos. Every little helps. It cheers me up a bit. Heaven knows we all need cheering up. I've done a lot of research lately in the banking world, and I've come out feeling absolutely depressed about the whole thing because we sleep beneath the moon and bask beneath the sun. We live a life of going to do and die with nothing done, don't we? Isn't that always the case? And we're great watchers. We are hypnotized by life. We're born into this world, and you get what you're given. It's as simple as that. But we're born into such an evil world. It's staggering. We're not aware of it being evil. Not really. Most people are not aware of exactly how evil this world is. It is run by evil people. I would use the word people very loosely. I would say that the people at the top are entities that are less than human. But one thing they are is hyper intelligent. So, I mean, more intelligent than a human, quite frankly, is capable of being. And if you think of the Borg, where it's a collective intelligence, that's probably very much it. Because there's very few people at the top of the pyramid. And the only time on the dollar bill you'll see the pyramid, of course, is, you see it on the dollar bill, but the capstone is raised above being laid down. Well, that capstone will be laid down when the New World Order, for want of a better phrase, get their way. That's when the plan is complete, my children. That is when they probably achieve everything they've written on the Georgia Guidestones, which means killing 3 out of 4 of us. Not bad, eh? Such is the power of these people. I think that we are deluded, quite frankly, and this is the hard bit for me to swallow. We are all deluded, us plebs, plebeians, and we are plebs, to think that we make the slightest bit of difference, or what we say and what we do on an individual basis, even as a collective. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a snowball in hell's chance have we got to stop the New World Order in their tracks. Because money is the root of all evil. It is one of the world's greatest motivators to humans. This is how we're wired. Because money is our passport to greater things. It's an illusion, of course, because the pleasures that a new item that you buy give you, they soon fade, don't they, very quickly, until you're on to the next thing you want, and then you get it. The last thing you want in your life is to achieve your ambition. Trust me. It should be held just out of your reach, like the carrot in front of the donkey. And that's how they get away with it. They promise us. Not until you've got that. Not until you do that. You can retire at 65. Oh, well, you haven't read the small print. Small print should be banned, in my opinion. There's a reason for small print, because most people don't read it. And that's the devil is in the detail. The devil is in the small print. And we go through our lives not even reading the small print. When half of us are not aware, more than half, 95% of people are not aware of small print. Sign that 25-year mortgage, that debt for life. Oh yes, a death grip it's called. Yes. That'll sign my life away. And they pay 3 times more than the house is worth. And they think, oh, we got our own house. Listen, folks, we own nothing. We don't. Well, he's driving a nice Ferrari. Yeah, it doesn't own it. The bank probably own it. Probably more than he does. And even if it is paid for outright, when he drops dead, he no longer has it. It's all a scam, this materialistic shit. And that's why I've become very minimalistic in my life. I've realised that possessions are just, they're never mine. Not truly. My only possession is me. It's my soul. It's the most precious thing to me, is my soul. And they can't have it. No one else can. It's mine, I tell you. They can have my body in so many ways. They can use the services my body produces, like work and effort. Of course, I have to have a job. I have to make money in order to survive on this world. But they can't have my soul. I work for the man, sure. We all do work for the man, ultimately. But, we go in the hole eventually, don't we, folks? And nothing, there are no pockets in our shrouds, as we are often told. But conspiracy analysts that we all are, we have to realise that the world was taken over hundreds and hundreds of years ago, if not thousands, when money hit the scene. And we know who invented money, those who populated the world. I've done a video about the creation of how money came about in this world and why it was invented. It was thrust upon us by the fallen ones, okay, who didn't have our best interests at heart. It's a form of population control, not birth control, but controlling people and empire building, that's all. And the winners of that little game, of course, are the world's banks. In a small collection, okay, 99% of the wealth is held by 1% of those who live upon it. We are practically broke compared to these people. Well, and we're looking forward to Brexit. Really? Well, it's just another distraction. Because if you really want to know who's behind all the latest scams to keep us divided and conquer, you see, if they divide us all, they'll conquer us so easy. It's like splitting up a herd of zebra. Have you ever looked at a zebra? I'm sure you have. In the Serengeti. And it's not in its pack. And it's there with a background of sand, if you like, or some vegetation. It stands out like a sore thumb, doesn't it, really? You think, Jesus, it's obvious. A lion's going to get that. But if the zebra, because of the vertical stripes, it's bloody obvious. If it moves into the pack, the herd of zebra, it's now become a fuzzy blur. It's hard to pick off an individual because it's such a blur to the lion or the predator. And this is why zebras stick together. It's a bit like why birds fly in a huge swarm, or, as you see lots of birds. Flamingos gather in such huge numbers because there's safety in numbers. It could be your mate that gets it, not you. Oh, that's thanks a lot. But that's the way it is, you see. But we have been delinquent in paying attention. We truly have. We've been, well, come on. If you think, which movements, latest movements, we've had the mods, we've had the rockers, we've had the Hells Angels. We've had the Green Party. We've had the Green Party, yes. Save the planet tossers, you know. And then we have women suddenly go to work when it used to be just men go to work and women look after the children, because women going to work increases the income of tax for the government, the banks. Okay, it's not the governments, folks, it's the banks. The banks control the governments, own the governments. Okay, and when the banks want more money, that's when they wanted women to have equal work 50%, so they can increase their income from tax from women. Before, women used to look after their children, and they weren't working, they were doing what they were doing motherhood. But now, phew, she's a parasite if she doesn't work. You want to get one that works. No, get one that's going to pay her share of tax to the government, the banks. Nothing to do with it, is it? The fact is that she's working, she has a career. Is great, but she still has to pay for the child minding. That's her proper job. I'm wholly opposed to women going to work, leaving their children with childminders, but we've put ourselves in a position where we've got to go to work. Who's going to pay the mortgage? We need two incomes. You didn't have to bite off more than you can chew. You should always live your life with something to spare. And cut your expectations down. Why should your children with a lack of mother have to be farmed off to other people because you overcommitted? Yes, you wanted the bigger house, the 2-car drive and yada yada yada. It's better off to live in a small house and have loads of spare cash, and mummy looking after the children, giving them an equal balance. That if there is a mummy and daddy, and Jessica hasn't got two mummies in modern society, another thing thrust down us. But who's responsible for the hippie movement, you know, the swinging 60s, the drug-bound 70s, the Vietnam Wars, all the wars, by the way? If you look at all things evil, including the arseholes who say there's global warming, including the Copernicus lot who was going on about turning our known flat earth into a ball, behind all this, follow the money. That's all. Follow the money. Okay? And they use religion. There was a wonderful song sung by, well, it was almost spoken. It was such a wonderful song by a guy called Richard Harris. Okay. And it was a picture, not that I'm religious, but it was a picture of Jesus nailed to the cross. And the song is "Too Many Saviours on My Cross." Okay. And it said, religion has been turned into a bullet and shot into men's hearts. It has been used. It's another tool for the bankers. It's not a tool for us at all. It's a form of another form of mass mind control. Religion is a falsehood, folks. The kingdom of heaven, if you believe it, is within us all. We are astrotheologically have the universe within us, from top to bottom. All the other shit that you read about and hear about and listen to and believe on many occasions, talking about the moon and the stars and Saturn and this and the Uranus and the Sagittarius and all the signs of the heavens, it's all about the stars. It truly is. Religion is all about astrotheology. It's all about the stars. And ultimately, folks, as above, so below. You have such wonderful powers as a human, if only you truly knew. But we are deluded. We are bombarded with trivia on a daily basis. We are preoccupied with looking down here and concentrating our own little problems when all around us Rome is burning, if you like. And it has now got to the point of no return. It is shit or bust, quite frankly. Excuse the swearer. We've been so delinquent in paying attention because we've been so obsessed with the minutiae detail. Okay, we sweat the small stuff. We worry what's on the mantelpiece when the house is falling down. I don't care if you get a late bill because you haven't paid your electric bill. I don't care really, quite frankly, whether 5G is gonna really hurt us. I don't care about smart meters. If you don't want one, don't have one fitted. It's not compulsory, although they try to make it look like that it's compulsory. It is not. I don't care what they teach in our schools. It doesn't matter a fig. Do you know why? Because that is trivia to what is coming our way at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Stop getting fussed about Brexit. I know it's hard, isn't it? Stop getting fussed. Stop getting excited who's right. Don't get excited about common purpose. Don't get excited about the Green Party. Don't get excited about Scotland wanting to break away from England. It doesn't matter. Because that's just on the mantelpiece. It's another thing to take our attention off what's truly going on as Rome burns. Rome is burning. First World War, planned. Second World War, planned. Third World War started underway at the end of the Second World War, planned. We are in Third World War. I've said it before. But who's running the show? It's Lombard, a quango of private individuals, very wealthy families. And they don't care about Europe. They truly don't. They don't care about borders because ultimately, folks, the grand agenda for Lombard is to have a one world currency. And there's nothing that you or me or the politicians or the royals or anybody else can do about it, because it is the bankers that run this world. It is the bankers who decide what wars are fought and what victories are awarded and what surrender terms are made. But the one agenda they have ultimate power over is the issuance of money. This insidious control thing that has been controlling humanity since its birth. It's been controlling humanity before religion. It's a bit like what came first, the chicken or the egg. It was a design of the gods. Money. It was a control freak tool. And they motivate us. It is it's just as essential, metaphorically, as food and water. Okay? Without money, all bets are off. Nothing happens. Nothing. And if you control the money, you can pay the piper. Whoever pays the piper can pick the tune. And picking the tune is the job of the bankers, not the politicians. And we, you and me, it's us merry band of brothers, can wax lyrical. And we play with things. We get upset about the Green Party, kill the whales. We're all doing this. We're polluting the planet. The plastic's all over the beaches. What are we going to do about plastic? What are we going to do about chemtrails, the inoculations? We've been there, done it, said it, got the t-shirt, done the videos. But you know what? The caravan is still moving on. Okay? I said in previous videos that the agenda is for the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, you name it, these types, okay, and they hide behind veil after veil after veil, but primarily the Rothschilds, okay, they are Zionists, they want a return of Babylon. You have to look at the history of Babylon before you quite grasp it, what I'm saying. You control the money, you control the world, and everybody and all countries upon it. And you can make the rules, because cash will always remain not just king, but world emperor. It is the most insidious tool that has been thrust upon us on this earth, is money. It is the truly the root of all evil on this planet, the flat one. We're the only idiots on this planet, the flat one, that is like a penny. Okay, it's circular, yeah, but outside the walls, the ice walls, there's other lands that may or may not have money. They don't need it. But for us plebs, within this, not the circle of trust, the circle of ice. The South Pole is a circle of ice. It's not a pole at all. We have a North Pole, but that's of little consequence. That's why there's no guards, there's nothing. Any idiot can walk around the North Pole, okay, including penguins, but not any idiot can walk around the South Pole. Oh, they've been to the South Pole. No, crap. Antarctica's part of the ice wall. We are surrounded by an ice wall. Please wake up. Another scam on the world is the ball theory that we live on. We don't live on a ball. You see, if we can get the suckers to believe they're on a ball, that means there's no escape. How can you escape like a hamster wheel on a ball? You just leave your country, carry on going round, and eventually you come back home, don't you? All 33,000 mile circumference. If only that were true. You want to know, oh yes, I've circumnavigated the world in my yacht. No, you've gone east to west, or west to east. Nobody has circumnavigated going north to south to north. No one, because you can't. You look in the history books to see which wonderful sailors, and there's many of them, have done circumnavigation from north to south to north. You can't, because you won't get past the sea wall called the South Pole. You'll skim along the edges until you go full bloody circle. It's so simple. It's in our face. They're telling us in our face, and we're still on a ball. Oh, these bullheads. I despair. But folks, it's always has been about this satanistic, Luciferian thing that was brought to this world from such an evil bunch of bastards called the Elohim. the Nephilim, and it's called money. The tool for human control, and boy has it done a good job. It can depress you, it can make you happy, it controls our emotions, and we thrive on that little sucker, don't we? Don't get so het up, you'll have a heart attack. Well, it makes me so mad. Chill out. Because there's nothing you have to accept. There's nothing that silly me and silly you can do about it. Nothing. We're not here long enough to have the slightest bit of effect. We suffer delusions of grandeur. Oh, I'm an MP. Are you? Whoopee bloody do. Oh, I'm a senior professor at the university. I'm a senior lecturer. Whoopee do. And? Well, I'm very important. Oh, really? In what sense? You see, it's a great leveller, isn't it? Money. You don't have to be clever to have it on most occasions. You just got to be born into the right families. It's all relative, excuse the pun. But there are families so wealthy, folks, groups that belong to the Lombard banking cartel, a private banking cartel that control this world, the Lombard Bank. Okay. They were the ones basically started this shit and control it. They control and finance the Bilderberg Group, the Council of Foreign Relations, yada, 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 yada. They decide what happens next. They are so above politics and above the royals, it's unbelievable, because they own the royals outright. The royals, they're just little pieces on a chessboard. The grand master of the chessboard are the banks. What is it? One world army. Well, isn't that being voiced now under a stepping stone, as David Icke would say? A European army. Oh yes, this is what's going on at the moment with the arseholes in Brussels. They want to set up a European army. One world. That's a stepping stone to a world army. Under the control of the bankers, of course. Okay, the new Knights Templars will be born, although they destroyed the Knights Templars, the real ones anyway. Okay, Lombard banks control the religions. Combined, they can buy and sell the Vatican. It probably is the Vatican. Heavily influenced. It's always about the money. It's never not been about the money. And we can talk about what we want to talk about and flap our gums. But you will go to work tomorrow. And you will pay your taxes. And you will have exactly the same problems next year as you got this year. You'll just be another day older and deeper in debt, as the song goes. There's nothing you can do. The global warming. A manufactured, another thing to preoccupy us with. Oh, the world's getting warmer, the world's getting colder, we're all going to freeze to death, the ice age is coming. It's a natural cycle, folks. There's no such thing as global warming. Certainly not CO2. It's global warming. It's a natural heating and cooling. CO2 emissions are calling it. It's a load of bollocks. We'll wake up tomorrow, the sun will still come up and the moon will still and often be somewhere out there in the sky, round and round the garden like a teddy bear following the sun around. And the sun and the moon are the same size. The moon cools, the sun heats, simples, round and round the garden. That's all. The planets, what we see is the planets. They're gas balls. There are other dimensions. Nobody's saying there's nothing on them. But as a spirit, you don't need land to land on. You can exist within another dimension, even if it is a ball of gas. We can't, this physical body of ours, but we're out of here soon. We're stuck, we're in prison. You wait, just you wait. Death is only the beginning. It's not the end. I only hope you learn enough in this dimension to enable you to go to the next, because I can't stand the thought of coming back. I've been back before. I know that. Obviously didn't listen first time round. But I'm a little bit more altruistic. Do you know, today I was in my bathroom and therefore I saw 5 ladybirds. I thought, it's a sign. It's a sign. I couldn't think of any reference books where I could look up the influence of ladybirds and what it means. You know, when you see a shooting star. I saw one tonight, a shooting star. But I saw 5 ladybirds in my bathroom. And I shouted down to my wife, "Hey honey, guess what I'm looking at?" Oh, not again. What? I'm looking at 5 ladybirds. I've had in my house, a massive influx of ladybirds. I think it's the weather that's triggered them into starting to suddenly want to come out and fly off and set up breeding programs with themselves. Because they hibernate in crevices and things around your house, don't they, until the winter is over. Well, it seems to be. With the current state of play with our weather, I don't quite know what it's doing. It shouldn't be this warm, but it is. Something going on. But the ladybirds don't tell lies. They're out there walking around. And I popped them in a little glass, because they can't crawl out of a glass. I collected 5 ladybirds. This is the second time I've done it this week. A couple of days ago I had to do it for 3 ladybirds that I got in my bedroom window. Going on my bedroom window. Don't know where they come from. They didn't fly in the house. They've been inside the house somewhere. I got them and I had them in a jar. They were trying to scrabble to get out. I looked up in the skies, a nice evening, a nice quite warm evening actually. And I went like that, ooh, like throwing some water at you. But I shoved the ladybirds into the air. Do you know, all 5 opened their little wings and flew off. That act alone gave me more pleasure. Watching them disappear into their own, off you go, off you go. I had such pleasure out of doing that. That is what it's all about. Deriving pleasure from such things. Doing something that's going to help another thing. A bloody ladybird, for Christ's sake. It's a magnificent thing. But I thought, smarty points, good karma. I've helped 8 ladybirds in the last week to go out into my garden and do their thing. The alternative is to keep the windows closed, and eventually they starve and they dehydrate and they end up on their backs on the windowsill and they get hoovered up. What a difference I made to those ladybirds. That's living for me. That's what I get pleasure out of. And my life I try to fill with little events like that to get my jollies. Sad, eh? Not so sad. I get more pleasure out of that than winning 85 quid on a scratch card. Not that I do them. It's not the money. I'm a lost cause with money. I'll never have enough to truly do what I want to do. Ain't that the case for us all? But at the end of the day, be happy with your lot and make the best of what you got. Be grateful for small mercies, and I truly mean that. And stop thinking we can change the world, because we can't. You and me can't. And even as a collective, if the whole of the population of Great Britain got together and said 68 million of us get together and say, no, this can't go on, the Lombard Bank would just say, nuke it. Great Britain wouldn't exist anymore. That's how powerful these people are. Because the Zionists want to re-establish their Babylon, which is next door to Iran. Then there's a gap. There's Syria. They're in the middle. They want Babylon back, thank you. As it is written, so it will happen. And we will pay the price. Our children will die to establish the new Babylon. When will we ever wake up and realise that we don't make the slightest bit of bloody difference? This is why you've got to seize the day and enjoy your day and stop fretting and being a conspiracy journalist, analyst, theorist, whatever you want to call them, and just learn when you look in a mirror, you're looking at something truly magnificent that is eternal. And stop worrying. It doesn't last that long. Living. Get busy living and stop worrying about being busy dying, as so many people are, saving for their old age. What a nonsense. Seize the day and go and find some butterflies or go and find some ladybirds to release, and seize the day and seize the pleasure. And they ain't cost me a penny to release those ladybirds. It's the best game in town. Catch you tomorrow, and stop fretting about the future, because nothing, you or I, will make the slightest bit of difference, whether we're aware of it or not. It'll all come right in the end. You know it will.